Hey guys, thank you for joining me today. Converting the old 30 and 40 series Deers from 6 volt to 12 volt. We do it a lot. If you need new batteries, that's when you do it. And at that time, do it right. The huge killer of starters is low amperage and low voltage. So buying two new 6 volts is kind of I don't know, you're really not improving the tractor. Going to two 12 volts, you get a lot more amperage at the starter. It spins the starter that much faster, and it spins the motor that much faster, which helps start the tractor that much better in a tougher condition. So we'll just take 3 seconds, look at what we do to the difference of cables, and go from there. All right, guys. This is an easy conversion. It's not rocket science, but there's a couple things we want to do right. So on this side, we got our new 12 volt in. The positive is going under the cab like normal, and the negative is going to the engine block like normal. So the right-hand side looks absolutely the same, no difference. Now the left-hand side is where we just have a little bit of difference. So the battery cable normally came from under the cab. It came to this negative. This negative cable was in here, and then this positive went to this battery. So you had one cable to handle both batteries going to the starter. Now, to do it right, the proper way, the best way possible, is each battery gets its own power cable and each battery gets its own ground cable. That's how you get the most amps to the starter. That's how you get better life out of your starter. That's how you get better life out of your batteries. Now, if you are extremely on a budget, you had to get new batteries because you just had to get new batteries, but you're not gonna pay for new cabling at this time. You just don't have the $50. We have had a couple customers that are adamant that they don't want two batteries up here at the start or two cables at the starter. So the cable coming under the cab, we just put a T on their cable. It hooks to this positive, and then you just have one cable coming to the starter. It's still a huge improvement, but not as good as one cable for each battery. But it works. I've even seen guys, they've done it themselves. They go to the local Napa or auto store and get a battery, a TN like this for a positive, and they do it themselves. I've seen that too. The other big thing we've noticed, so that's it. It is that simple. That's my whole preach today, is to just make sure you get each cable for each battery so you can get the best it can. The deal here is 6 volts in series gives you 12 volts to the starter, but if a 6 volt battery, if each battery is 1,000 amps, you're still only getting 1,000 amps to the battery. And on them 6 volts, it does not take much grinding, and your voltage drops below 12 volts, which starts to become hard on these little motors. 12 volts hooked in parallel, if each battery is 900 amps or 800 amps, that is 1,600 amps getting here, and it's maintaining the 12 volts better, especially with two cables. We'll do a voltage draw. A lot of times if people have starting issues, one thing we like to do is a voltage draw. We will load test this cable running underneath the cab. We will actually load test the battery through that cable, and then we'll load test the battery itself to see how much amp draw there is across this cable. And there's been times we saw a huge amp draw because the cable's old and crappy, and that's their whole starting issue, and it's not the starter itself, because it cranks bad, so we'll send the starter out and they get the starter back rebuilt, and it still cranks bad. And that's why they got old cables. These tractors are 30 and 40 years old. Yeah, that cable's getting bad. So that's the big thing. The 12 volt conversion really helps these tractors start better. And then for the batteries, we found put some padding, anything. This is I don't know what material this is. This stuff is as tough as nails. It's extremely difficult to cut. We use round baler belting. The old round baler belting works fantastic. Just something to give a little bit of isolation from the vibration. Vibration with these battery boxes on these tractors. They have a huge, very high harmonic vibration that goes through these batteries all day long. And so you can greatly reduce your battery wear and tear by putting some matting down there. Guys, It's that simple. It's that easy to do a great job. I got to get some protective hose on there to finish this. But hey, it's that easy, that simple. Do it right. All right, guys, I'm going to hold the shut off and crank the engine over for just a couple seconds, just so we get a sound of what our new 12-volt conversion with that starter sounds like. You could hear the lug down of the starter motor. That's when the hydraulic pump's starting to kick in, because I could feel the seat start to build pressure. But at that cranking speed, man, oh man, this thing will pop off in 30 degrees like nothing. So that's a huge increase, you know. That is massive. That's why we do stuff like this, to make this old stuff just keep on running and be good. So, all right, guys. Hey, thank you very much for watching.